Hello, it's Phillip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking, and I'm talking about a book on employment law. There are many books around at the moment in this area, and this is a new one. It's a maroon coloured book, burgundy if you like, Blackstone's Employment Law Practice 2009. It's just come out. It's very heavy. It's got something in the region of just over 1,000 pages, and of course it has all the legislation that you need, but it's got a lot more. Lots of standard reference numbers at the side, so you can find the various paragraphs with ease. A lot about the legislation itself, and at the back of course an excellent index, and it's very much in the mould of the Blackstone series, a bit like the criminal practice I've got over there, and in fact the civil practice. This one of course is a paperback and not a hardback. I've written a review in Flickr, and I've given it a title which is taken from the foreword, and I've said in the internet reviews it's a welcome addition to the employment law library, and that's exactly what it is, because we need something like this with the way in which employment law and the whole disputes between employees and employers is developing, and obviously we've had new changes since 1997. So you may not have thought it possible, but apparently it is the most welcome addition, and let's explore the reasons why. Here in this book is the whole field of employment law compressed, as it were, into one authoritative and useful volume with a splendid maroon cover, as I've mentioned, or possibly burgundy. We could call it all sorts of things, but clearly we've got the yellow book from Sweet and Maxwell, but this is different because it follows very much the style of the Blackstone series, the in-house publishing series. So if you're involved in employment law, this is really a book certainly for you. Obviously in any capacity. We're talking about whether you're an academic, a learner, a practitioner, a trades union official, employer or employee. You'll find in here everything you really need to know. In fact, the first thing I went to was constructive dismissal, because that's an area that I have a case on at the moment, and I found the various points of reference, the rules, the requirements, extremely helpful. So I think you'll find it an invaluable work, and just the ticket, when because it contains everything you really need to know about the subject. So the book, in the words of Sir Michael Burton, who's president of the Employment Appeal Tribunal and also chairman of the Central Arbitration Committee, he says it succeeds in giving an excellent view, both panoramic and detailed, of all that needs to be known to bring or defend an employment issue before the courts or tribunals. And he goes on to say we judges will feel the more comfortable as we see the tome on the desk in front of the advocate or litigant in person appearing before us. Can I just say that I think this is a good book for the lay person as well as for the practitioner. You could not or even imagine a more cogent summary as set out here, with a convincing argument for the efficacy of the tome in question. It provides complete coverage of practice and procedure in the Employment Tribunal, Employment Appeal Tribunal and Central Arbitration Committee. It also covers employment issues in the High Court and the Court of Appeal, and is fully up to date with developments in law and procedure. Key areas of substantive law are covered, notably summaries of all the current legal leading cases, plus specialist coverage of issues that typically come up at tribunals. An example of that could be the calculation of compensation and guidelines for determining damages in discrimination cases, plus of course advice on things like drafting, compromise agreements, group litigation and consent orders, where in fact some sort of mediation has been successful. Of immediate interest, I think, to all is the expanded coverage of employment law and procedures in the civil courts. My wife and I both wrote this review together, and she picked out a number of things which I thought were useful from the layperson's point of view, because in addition there's information on things like practice and procedure for litigants in person, and also it covers places like Scotland with Brian Napier, Queen's Counsel, from the Faculty of Advocates in Edinburgh, and of Fountain Court Chambers adding his expertise. So all in all, this opening edition of Blackstone's Employment Law Practice offers you the pooled knowledge, experience and practical insights of all experienced and knowledgeable teams of practitioners who have, in their words, attempted to cover the law up to the 21st of January 2009, and I'm reviewing this in the middle of 2009. So to ensure that the book continues to provide an up-to-date reference source, it's going to be published annually, which I welcome as part of the Blackstone stable of books. And therefore, as I said at the beginning, it's a welcome addition to the employment law library of any firm or chambers for its outstanding coverage of this specialist area, and I certainly won't be without it. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.